How's it going, everyone? It's Adam from Life of Adam. Today I'm back with a brand new lifeguarding video. If you guys are new to the channel, I make a bunch of lifeguarding content about how to pass the course, how to pass the pretest, basically everything you need to know about becoming a successful lifeguard. So definitely consider subscribing and liking the video if you're new to the channel. Also, if you're interested in becoming a lifeguard, I highly recommend you check my course down below in the description. It will help you with all 3 of the pretests and make sure that you pass on your first try without spending a lot of money and having to repay. So the topic of this video is lifeguarding outside versus lifeguarding inside. Now you might think, okay, obviously outside is better because you're in the sun, but there's actually a lot of good things about indoor pools, and also which one's more difficult, which one's easier pay, which one's more relaxed. So I'm going to dive into the perks of each option, why lifeguarding inside is typically easier than lifeguarding outside, and maybe why lifeguarding outside is more rewarding. It definitely depends on the person, but let's start right now. Now I've lifeguarded at indoor pools and outdoor pools. My first indoor pool job was a YMCA. I worked there for 3 years. I worked there in like the fall, the spring, and the winter time, and in the summer times I would work at outdoor pools. That was typically a summer camp. Now, based on my experience working at an indoor pool, basically like a lap swimming pool where you would watch swim team, you would watch like older people in the morning swim laps. Working at that pool was by far the easiest. Like right off the bat, I would sit in my lifeguard chair, I would have my rescue tube, I would guard from like 6 a.m. to noon time, and it was very uneventful. Obviously I'd be scanning, but you'd recognize the same people every single day. It was the same routine, people would swim the same lanes, same timing. The only issues were when there's a lot of people swimming, you would ask them to like the circle swim, because typically when there's more people than 2 per lane, you don't want guests getting like kind of frustrated and impatient. So a way to resolve that is like having them circle swim, but that's like basically the only issue. Sometimes you go up, you like look at the clipboard, you sign in people's names, or like sometimes there's like water belts or like water barbells that people like to use. You have to like get them out of the closet or help them adjust the belt if it doesn't fit. Also, while working at indoor pools, I would watch like these swim lessons. Like typically the parents would be in the water with the kids. So I'd just be sitting there, there'd be other lifeguards in the pool teaching swim lessons, and it was like very easy. Now, I'm not saying every single indoor job on the planet, every single indoor pool, community pool, water park, resort, it's gonna be really laid back and chill. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is, based on my experience, working at indoor community pools was a piece of cake compared to outdoors. Now, some of the positives about working outside, obviously you're in the sun, it's completely different. You can breathe the fresh air. You're at a pool in the summertime or maybe even like the fall or the late spring. It's really nice, it's very pleasant because it's a very enjoyable experience. When you think about places you want to be, people say, oh, I want to be at the beach, I want to be at the lake, I want to be at the pool. And that's kind of like what you're doing. You're getting paid while being there. Typically the pools are a lot nicer to swim because the water's cold, so it's like refreshing. It's because like when you're out of the water, it's hot. So when you go in the water, it's really refreshing. You don't really get that in an indoor pool because typically at an indoor pool, the water's like really heated and it's like kind of hot and like sticky in there. So it's not really pleasant. But the negative is you have to deal with the weather. Also, working at outdoor pools, it was a lot more work. For example, there's a lot more ground to cover because the pool decks are typically bigger. At indoor pools, the pool deck's like kind of smaller. Indoor pools, typically the land around it was like some benches, a door, like some lockers, and you just like go swimming. So typically your zone's gonna be a lot bigger. You're not only responsible for guarding in the water, you also watch like around the pool as well. Also, in my experience, there's a lot more rescues, a lot more kids that are like dehydrated, needed to go inside, needed to get water, a lot more kids like slipping and like stubbing their toe on the pool deck and bleeding, like more stuff like that. Obviously more rescues where I had to jump in and use my skills, use the rescue tube and assist people. But that might be because I was working at a camp, so it's like kind of group swims. It wasn't really as organized and as safe as like adult swim in the morning doing lap lanes. So obviously it depends what kind of job you have. But typically I would associate indoor pools as easier but not as enjoyable, and outdoor pools that's extremely enjoyable, but you're going to be put to work, especially if you're at like a very busy place. Now, also it depends on the person. If you're someone like me that's like really good with the sun, because my family is Italian, so I tan, like I put sunscreen on, I'm completely fine, then outdoor pools are obviously your thing. But if you're someone who's very sensitive to the sun, like you can't be exposed for very long, you like start to peel and you turn red, then maybe you should do an indoor option. I like to do both because where I live, obviously we have winter. It's not like I'm in like some really warm place 24/7 all year round. So I have winter, I have fall, I have spring where it's obviously cooler. You can't go to an outdoor pool and swim because there's no pools open. But if you're in a place that's like summery all year long, I would definitely recommend an outdoor pool. But if you do get sick of the heat, you can obviously change it up, maybe do 2 jobs at once, or you can pick one over the other, have an indoor pool, which is kind of more relaxing, just get paid, just do your job. But after a while, you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I need some fresh air, it's not as pleasant. So overall, if you had 2 options, you're getting paid the exact same, you're working right now, like neutral weather, no factors. You're either A, you're working at an indoor pool, very easy, you get paid, you do your thing and you go home, or option B, very enjoyable. Obviously you're gonna be working a little bit more, like you have to do chlorine, check chlorine, you have to like move smooth lane lines. You have more area to scan, more eventful outdoor pool, but it's very beautiful. It's a very nice scene. I would lean towards the outdoor pool. It's a really good experience because in order to better yourself as a person and better yourself as a lifeguard, it's really good to experience different scenarios, problem solve, handle things, remain calm and cool, and use your training. As a lifeguard, you want to use your training. You want to be able to be there for someone. So I definitely recommend putting yourself in a position where you actually go to work and you actually do things versus taking like the easy way out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Definitely comment down below your opinions, and I will see you all in the next upload. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.